So in this video, I'm going to be telling you 7 reasons why you should be starting composting immediately. Hi everyone, my name is Naina and welcome back to my channel. So I have started composting around 6 months back, and I would say it's been one of the best things I've done till now in my sustainability journey. And honestly, if you haven't started composting yet, it's high time you should give a thought to it. And here today I'm going to tell you 7 reasons why you should be starting composting at your homes immediately. I already have 2 videos out about composting. First one about how I started composting and my journey through composting from the start to the first harvesting. And the second video was a live session where I clarified a lot of your doubts about composting. So I hope that you will go check out those videos. And now I'll let you know about some of the reasons why composting should be in your highest priority in your sustainable lifestyle journey right now. Number 1 reason is that it is super simple and very easy to do. Anybody of any age group can do it. I know everybody has this assumption that composting takes so much of time and space and everything, but I have proven to you that I could start composting in a tiny balcony of mine. My balcony is just around 1.5 foot wide, and I could start composting in that tiny space, and you will be able to start composting in whatever space that you can find. If you don't have space inside your own apartment or house, you could maybe place it in front of your door or maybe in the parking area of your building. There are definitely places that you can think of where you can place your compost bin, and you can go and put your wet waste into and see it turn into black gold. And all you actually need is some interest and some commitment towards doing this. And once you start doing it, it just becomes a normal day-to-day habit in your life. A lot of us still believe that it is the responsibility of our government to collect waste from each of our households and dispose of it responsibly. But let me just give you a couple of numbers, okay? If you did not know yet, India has over 1.3 billion population. So billion has 9 zeros in it. So just imagine the amount of people we have in this country, and say let's just divide the country into households of an average of 4 people, and that makes it around 325 million households. Got it, right? Now, each of these households, say, makes an average of 250 grams of wet waste. Most households make over 500 grams of waste easily every day, and bigger households make over 1 kilo of waste, but I'm just making it minimum, putting it at 250 grams of waste, which makes 812 million kilograms of wet waste getting out of households in one single day. Just imagine that number, and just imagine our government having to tackle such a large amount of waste manually. It is close to impossible, and that is exactly why our waste disposal systems are broken, because it really is hard to give that responsibility of so much of waste to be given to the government and hoping that they will do whatever they can to get rid of it, right? Why not take the responsibility by ourselves? If we as a household take that responsibility of making sure the wet waste that we produce every day is not going outside our door, but instead goes into our compost bin, and at the end of a month and a half or more becomes compost that can go out into the nature and help nature even more. So instead of this waste ending up in landfills, where we have seen the landfills which is over the height of Taj Mahal, which catches fire every single day and produces methane gas so much. It is so damn toxic. That is what you and me had been doing. Till now, we have been contributing to that. The systems are broken and you can't put the government at complete fault. When we as individuals care very little about it, it is hard to put all that blame into our government, expecting them to take our waste and hopefully dispose of it responsibly when we can't take responsibility for our own waste. So why not take that responsibility at our own homes and make it a little bit easier for the government? So if more number of households stop putting their waste outside, then that helps the government to reduce the amount of waste that they need to tackle. And especially during this COVID situation, when a lot of people are complaining about how the waste management facilities are not coming regularly and that the waste bins in the apartments are overflowing and it's starting to stink and you start to see rats, it is in your power to stop that from happening instead of just blaming the government when the country is under another crisis. So instead of blaming the government for not doing it, you can prevent that from happening by just taking your waste and letting it go into a compost bin and become compost. So this is one of the biggest reasons why each of you should start composting inside your homes. And I'm sorry if I sounded like I was lecturing you, but this is something that all of you needed to hear, and this is a very important thing we all need to keep in mind. So the next reason is that you can reduce the carbon footprint that you will be causing for the transportation of the kitchen waste from your house, your apartment or your locality to the city dump. So that will be something that will be happening every day or every other day for sure. And by starting to do your own composting at home, you do not need any kind of transportation at all in the whole process. Everything happens inside your house or inside your building, and you don't have any vehicular need at all to dispose of your waste because you are disposing it inside your own household. And that is a lot of carbon footprint that you are reducing. If you didn't know yet, the waste segregation part in our country is a disaster. So it could be the fault of us as individuals who may not be segregating our wet and dry waste properly, or it could be the fault of the municipal people who come to collect the waste, who collect both of these wastes together in one single vehicle. I've seen that happen, I've heard how that happens. So it still happens in our country even today. When that happens, neither the wet waste that could have gotten composted nor the dry waste which could have gotten recycled gets disposed properly in a responsible manner. So when it reaches the city dump for further segregation, it does not happen because both the wet and the dry waste may have been contaminated by getting them mixed up. And that is the real reason why each of us should learn to dispose of our own wet waste inside our house in the form of composting. So the next reason why you should be composting at your home is to help the rag pickers and the recyclers. These two categories of people are actually putting themselves at risk by segregating the waste that we throw out. And by mixing all our waste, we are putting their health at risk because they have to be the ones who open our waste and try to segregate it, and mostly with their own hands with no protection at all. Just think of the kind of risk that you are causing them. And the cleaner that the dry waste is, it is more valuable for the rag pickers and also has more chances to get recycled too. So to make sure and guarantee that our dry waste is as clean as it can be is to completely keep it away from our wet waste, and the perfect way to do that is to start composting at home so that the wet waste never leaves the front door of your house. And another reason is that the compost becomes nutrition for our plants and trees and just our earth in general. And even if you don't have a lot of plants around in your house, you can go put it in a nearby tree or any plants, or just ask around if anybody wants compost. I had over 60 people ask while I could only give it to 3 people. And that is the number of people who will happily take your compost. And if you have no use of your composting anyway, you can just throw it out into soil, and that will just make that soil much richer. And now the final reason is you can actually make money out of your waste. So just think about it. Isn't that like a great reason why you should be composting? Because you definitely can make money out of it. I had people offer to pay me for my compost when I did my very first harvesting. There are so many people who are into gardening or even into farming who will happily pay for your fertilizer when they know that it came right from your own home without any kind of other additions of chemicals or anything to it. So they will happily pay for it, and you can have an income made through this compost. And I think that can be a huge reason why all of us can compost at home. I'm not saying that all of you should be selling it. You can give it away to people around you, to your neighbors, the people in your community. You can just give it away without asking for any pay. But if you want to sell it, you have the option to sell your compost. And there will be people willing to buy it very happily. And I don't think any of you need any better reason than that. So that makes up for the 7 reasons why you should be composting at home today itself. So I really hope that you will have found one or more reasons to start. And if you have any more doubts about composting, please make sure to leave a comment below and I will help you out. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give this a thumbs up, because it is a really great way to support my channel and hopefully help the YouTube algorithm to know that it is a valuable video too, so that it will push out the video to more people to see. And if you did enjoy it, and if you think that this is something that people may want to watch, please make sure to share it to your friends or family so that they may also find a reason to start composting at their homes. So if you're yet to see my composting video, you can definitely go check it right over here. So I will see you again in the next video. So until then, bye bye.